gonna go insane, you're gonna be disgusted, you're gonna laugh away until your gut's busted, yeah. Better hold on to your brain, better grab your ribs, Dread-libs.
Hello everyone and welcome to Dread-libs. My name is Dev Solovey.
My name is Zach Ellenberger.
I am the Unholy Corpse Child, Thomas Stewart.
And I'm Onyx Brightwing.
And this is a show where four horror writers turn silly ideas into thrilling tales of terror. How's everyone doing this week?
I'm exhausted.
Exhausted?
I've been on many travels this week, and I can't tell you how much my feet hurt. Because I forgot to wear shoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell you, as a demon living in the Southwest, I get no respect. The Homeowners Association is on my ass. Apparently, I have too many upside-down crosses in my yard, so they've been getting on my case about that. I'm trying to tell them it's a cultural thing, but they just won't listen.
I would tell you to burn them, but then the neighbors, depending on the ethnicity, might start looking at you back kind of side-eyed. So
yeah, people generally don't take kindly to setting other people on fire. I keep trying to tell them not to take pictures of me too, because when they do that, their camera catches fire, and then their eyes catch fire, and then it's a whole thing. So
You're lucky enough to be turning up on the camera. Excuse me. Some of those vampires out there and other evil demons aren't lucky enough to even turn up on any of those cameras.
That's true. I have the opposite problem because I'm a cat. Everybody always wants to put me on YouTube. So it's like everywhere I go, people are like, oh, look, it's a cat. I'm just like, man, I just want to take a nap. Where's my box? Just leave me alone.
Yeah, that was you in that viral video, huh? On TikTok.
Yep.
I don't have any of those problems because I just reside in my catacombs. Sometimes I have lights come and just lie in my coffin beside me.
Let me tell you, in my otherworldly adventures, I've come across many catacombs, but this man's catacombs has got to be the worst smelling catacombs. You gotta clean that thing out, sir.
Oh, damn it.
I understand that rotting flesh is an issue, but when you have company, it's worth a Febreze spray or two.
I already got screwed out of 7,000 bones thanks to Belial.
How's that? I mean, how's Pondering the Infinite going? Is that, is the catacombs the right place to do that sort of thing? Because I imagine it would be.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Luckily, as Unholy,
it just gets a little easier when Onyx comes around and lies in my coffin.
All right, well, today we're going to be getting into, let me actually, for new listeners, because it's our first episode, let me describe the format of this show a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend 30 minutes to an hour developing a story based on one concept, which in today's episode is going to be Mothman. We're going to write a horror story about Mothman. The way it's going to go is we're going to kind of set up some context. As we go, we're going to introduce objects that we have to implement in the story at some point. We can switch around the order if we need to, but we have to implement them into the horror story. And there's going to be a twist. There's going to be a challenge, which we will decide right now. I brought a coin to flip because I couldn't decide on which challenge to go with. But yeah, Mothman, also just context, he's a cryptid from West Virginia, considered to have eldritch powers. It's thought that he stalks the woods at night, kidnaps people, that sort of thing.
Standard spinner on Richard Gere.
He's like a cat.
Except a moth. There's some, not gonna lie, when I was doing a little bit of cursory research on Mothman, there is some horny ass art of Mothman out there. People get really weird.
Powered figure.
Indeed.
He's my favorite. I'm excited about this. This is going to be good.
Oh, good. So we have a resident Mothman expert. That's great.
Yes.
I know a little from being in the PA area. from being the PA, the ancient Appalachians.
All right, so heads. The Mothman is the protagonist. That's going to be the twist. Tails. The entire story is a jukebox musical. Ready to go?
We throw a rouge on you there.
What genre music are we talking about?
A jukebox musical, like the ones that take like pop songs and turn them into songs for the musical. You know, like how Glee did or whatever. So.
Oh boy.
Here we go. And that is Tails. It's a jukebox musical.
Oh, are you gonna make us sing? Do we?
You don't have to sing. You don't have to sing. You just have to find a song that's good for the portion of the story we're at. Really, all you need for a musical, I reckon. I say this as someone who doesn't actually like musicals, but you need like an intro song. You need an outro, like an outro musical number. When the villain gets introduced, you need one. Stuff like that. New characters.
You got.
I mean, yeah, sure. If you, that's where you want to start. So, is everybody set on the premise? Because I can pick our first object, or do we want to do some brainstorming? Or
we're good.
Good for your first object. Okay. All right. So I've got the picker wheel up. Gonna go ahead and spin it. Going. A banana peel. That's our first one.
Okay.
Banana peel.
Yep. Classic gag.
All right. Banana peels.
So
box musical about fucking Mothman.
Yep. We can do this. We're
musical about Mothman. Okay. I think in starting this little musical number, I think we need to talk a little history. I think all good musicals start with a little bit of history on what it is this is going to be about. Cats. It's alley cats, right? Onyx? It's alley cats, right?
Yeah. Maybe then for Mothman, we do Country Roads. Almost Heaven, West Virginia.
Okay, yeah. Right. You're heading West Virginia, and you know West Virginia isn't all what it's cracked up to be. As they're riding through, you know, they're like, "What's it? Take me home, country or no?
Country roads to the place where I belong."
West Virginia.
Mountain, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so that's your establishing song. And then, but who's our cast? Like, we know we're in West Virginia. We know what our first song is going to be. They could alter the lyrics, or maybe they don't. Who cares? We're not here to write songs. We're here to write a story.
Yeah, you know. I think that's what happens within the song. They're driving along, they're singing it, and suddenly the lyrics are turning into like, these mountains are a little bit creepier than we thought they would be. The trees are a little bit mysterious and evil.
Can we make it a metal band as our cast?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
A metal band. A metal band is
a metal band. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's do that. Because I feel like I was thinking like Cryptid Hunters, but that's too obvious. You know, a metal band that works, and like maybe they're on tour.
This heavy metal.
At the end, they perform a concert with fucking Mothman.
That'd be great. That would be great if we could get to that point.
So you got a metal band detouring through the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia.
Yeah, I think they should probably be down on hard times because they're not going to be going to like I don't know what the capital of West Virginia is, but it's probably going to be like
nobody knows what the capital of West Virginia
is. It should be avenged sevenfold.
Oh God, no. No. It's a rando band of four-piece that look just like us. A cat, a wandering Gandalf wannabe, an unholy corpse child.
Maybe it's Kiss. Hear me out.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
I'm gonna roll.
They're not metal, but like it would be funny.
Yeah, we're like singing, I wanna rock and roll all
Oh,
night.
no.
And
That
party
no,
every
that's the ending number. If we have it be Kiss, that's the ending number is rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say if you want to have a positive ending,
Yeah,
it would also
right.
be funny if it were a
Ronnie
negative ending
James,
and
we
it ends
already
on
made
rock and
somewhere.
roll.
I mean, if you have an ending where like Mothman is singing a song while killing everybody, you could do that too. It's but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to figure out why is this metal band or Kiss or whatever like why do they come into contact with the Mothman? Like how does that happen? Are they searching for Mothman? Does Mothman find them? Is he a fan? Is the Mothman a fan of theirs?
Taking a tour through the woods, and they slip on the banana peel, which causes them to go off-roading, and they crash into a tree. They all survive, but they crash into a tree, and they have to call AAA or whoever to come get their ass for roadside assistance.
Right. Okay. Or maybe their car slips on the banana peel.
Yeah. I think that's what he was going for. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're driving down the country road.
Slip on a banana peel.
Sing along songs. Banana peel.
Yeah, they pull a Mario Kart, slip on a fucking banana
Mario
peel.
Kart.
And then comes the Gwyneth Paltrow song. No, not Gwyneth Paltrow. Wait, what the fuck is her name?
Gwen Stefani?
The guy that married the country guy.
Is it Gwen Stefani? No.
Yes, Gwen Stefani. Yes. Where they're like, this shit is bananas.
And they sing that with roadside assistance. Yeah.
Yes. As the car's spinning out and they're screaming, the song in the background's going, this shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. And then they hit the tree, but it's still going. The song is still going. This should it should be relentless in its musical numbers. It's just like one musical after another to the point where the horror in and of itself is just music being like people being pummeled with music.
That just had an idea though, that the first music before like right when they hit the banana peel should have been Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
This is what it would be good. It would be good. Maybe because like I know musicals sometimes have like a thematic song that reappears throughout. Maybe that's Country Roads, and then the first one's Detroit Rock City because that's where you get the crash. So we have our premise, right? Yeah. So we have our premise. It's this metal band. They've crashed in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. There's not a lot of big towns around, so roadside assistance isn't going to get there for hours. So they're stuck in the woods. We are primed for a first encounter with Mothman. I think a jump scare would be good here, kind of the way they do in Jaws, where like you don't really see the creature at first. You just have some kind of jump scare in there. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, okay, I have an idea. Say Gene Simmons has to go take a piss behind a tree, and he just wants to split off because Kiss always fucking hated each other. So they're just blaming each other, saying it's your fault we fucking crashed. No, it's your fault because you should have had your eyes open for that banana peel. So
most of them hate Gene Simmons too. So
yeah, they're all targeting Gene Simmons because he's somehow the dick of the group.
And when they do, he just goes off to take a piss. When that happens, he starts to hear the wind flapping.
Or he hears a stick crack.
Mothman just sit by. And he barely catches a glimpse of it, but it's enough to know that that's not a fucking bird.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a flutter of wings? That shit was way too big to be a bird.
Yeah, well, we could draw on too the initial, like the first encounter with Mothman, if I'm remembering it correctly, was this couple in the woods where they saw just like a buff dude with wings and like glowing eyes, and like he was just really large and intimidating. Your standard cryptid experience, really. It's funny because Gene Simmons is a pretty large guy too, so I guess it would be kind of funny if you were like scared by this large person then, if he was like the first to be offed.
Our Mothman prophecy is like a Fabio with angel wings on from a distance, but as we get closer, he gets more hideous.
He has
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
red eyes that are
Killed
glowing.
just yet.
Yes.
Like he's just spooked, so he goes and runs back, try to tell the others. He's like, dude, there's something big in the woods. Just zipped by me while I was taking a piss.
And they're like, you're high. You're really fucking high. We don't believe you.
But then the singer goes, wait a minute, guys. We could use some inspiration. So this sounds like a good time for a tour through the haunted woods or a little hike through the haunted woods.
Yeah. So something they're struggling to write a new album. They're in their greatest hits era and they want to get out of it.
No, they're past their greatest hits. Okay, they're doing this tour. This is my thought. They're doing this tour because they're they're off the beaten path of their career and they're trying to salvage what they have left. And they are playing their old hits to like bowling alleys and empty dive bars.
Yeah.
So they just had a show cancel in like Baltimore or New York, and so they're like detouring through West Virginia for whatever reason, and that's when they hit the banana peel.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So they need a new concept album to get out of this slump. And some weird moth creature kind of, I mean, or seeing something spooky in the woods would definitely help. But also, I feel like if we want conflict, because if we're going to, like, I assume some of them are going to get killed. If we want that to happen, we have to split them up somehow.
Well,
Or for some,
again, they always. This one's easy because they fucking hated each other. So now they're arguing. It's like, well, no, I want to do it this way. No, we need to do it this way. What the fuck are you? What are you high? What are you writing?
Wait. Yeah, no, you're on it. You're on it. So maybe that's what happens is like Gene Simmons comes back and he's just like, holy shit, there's this thing in the woods. And they're like, shut the fuck up. You're just trying to fuck with us. And he's like, no, I'm serious. And they're like, no, you're trying to fuck with us. And they kick him off a cliff and they kill him instantly.
like, oops. But it's
Well,
like
and
a
that's
total
it, 'cause
accident.
Mothman's a portent of death.
Yeah, he
Okay,
is.
this is true. Good call.
Him
He's a
zipping by
portent.
Gene Simmons was just basically, him zipping by Gene Simmons was just like a precursor to him dying somehow.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe that's the real twist is that Mothman doesn't kill any of them. They all kill each other.
But they have to keep Gene Simmons' boots because they're awesome. So before they kick him over, they take his boots off. They're
They
like,
take his boots off and they hit him with his boots.
Part of why they hate him
use
so
his
much is
guitar to
because they're jealous of the
whack
boots.
him on the face.
Yes.
They just use his guitar to actually like
Like an axe, yeah.
yeah.
All right, so I think it's time for a new object, if I'm not mistaken. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Going. Oh no. Don't do this to me. The fidget spinner.
Yes.
This object was submitted by a friend of mine. I almost regret putting it in there.
Maybe one of them has.
We love your
ADHD
friend
and
so
just
much,
wants to fuck
Dev.
with a fidget spinner.
Real
What's-
quick, though, thank you for that submission.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever that
Can we
was.
choke somebody with that? Like, can we shove it down their throat? that would be perfect.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of trying to get out of a creative slump. Gene did his usual sellout thing of creating a bunch of merch of Kiss branded fidget spinners, and so they have a ton of those in the back seat or in the trunk or whatever, and they all spilled out of the car when it crashed. That's how they get there. I don't know what they do with it.
I think they should be like, here's your fucking fidget spinner idea that didn't fucking work. We put all of this money into this and none of them fucking sold.
So let's go back to the moment where they decide that Gene needs to go. So
Okay.
Gene comes back sporting this whole like, oh, I just saw the Mothman, blah 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 blah, and they're like, shut the fuck up, Gene. No one wants to hear you, dude. And besides, you shouldn't be wearing those boots. Those are my boots, says like Ace Frehley or whatever.
Yeah.
And then who's the other guy? Paul Stanley is like, yeah, fuck you, dude, and takes his guitar and he hits him so hard across the face that he goes flying out of his boots and just over some cliff he didn't realize he was standing behind, because West Virginia is like that sometimes. And there's a cliff
is.
right there.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like this.
Down, head hits a rock, splattered open, and they're all like, "Oh,
Yeah.
metal."
In that case, they need to sing "Kill or Become" by Cannibal Corpse.
All right, good. Yeah,
They're coming in. Yeah.
yeah. Oh gosh. I
Or
mean,
no, Hammer Smashed Face. Hammer Smashed Face by Cannibal Corpse.
what about that one by Death Clock? The one they turned into the Bat Metal song.
Oh yeah.
I forget
I
what that
don't know
one's
that.
called.
See,
It's-
my initial thought was that this band would be like a Death Clock kind of band. I'm
They
comfortable
would do this shit, actually. Yeah,
but you know,
I think we've gone too far. Like,
personalities.
yeah, I think we've committed too far to Kiss already. If we changed it to Death
Yeah.
Clock,
There's no,
even though that would make sense.
there's no
let's
going
do
back
it.
on this one.
Yeah. So how do we implement the fidget spinners? Like, I
I like
can.
Onyx's idea where they just take the box of fidget spinners and they just dump them over the cliff, all except for maybe one. And
So,
one member
yeah.
just has ADHD and just starts fucking with it while trying to think of a new
We'll get-
song
Yeah,
to use the song with.
Pete Singer. I think Pete Singer should be the one to survive.
That's the other guy. I was
He's
gonna
the
say,
drummer.
he
Yeah.
could be like a really calm, like very like
He's chill. Yeah.
person who's like not like the other dudes and who just like enjoys fucking with the fidget spinner. So when Paul and Ace are like, "Oh, fuck you, Gene," and they toss all the shit over, like he sees one sitting in the grass, is like, "Ooh," and he like sneaks in his back pocket because he doesn't want to see the other guys. He doesn't want the other guys to see that he grabbed one for himself, and so the entire trip he's just in the back messing with his fidget spinner. And every time they look back at him, he just hides it real quick, like, "Oh."
If that's the case, that has to be our Chekhov's gun. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be used somewhere at the end, and I think Pete should use it to survive. We could make it like a shuriken. Like, maybe
that's
he
what I was
sharpens it.
thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We could have
It's
him
like
like
the Mothman right between the eyes. He's
Just
just
doink.
gone.
Well, or okay, so no, like you said, Mothman actually wasn't actually doing anything,
he was just
But,
he's skulking around.
right? But I was thinking, okay, another Mothman encounter where he sees him just perched up in a tree, just staring down at him.
Yeah, maybe. So, I think the
What?
next person to go should be Ace Frehley. I think he's pretty easy to get rid of because he's just going to be constantly high. So, maybe he's not taking things seriously. Like, maybe he's just kind of goofing around, and maybe Paul is like a little annoyed at him. Paul would be easy to put in a leadership role because he's the lead singer. So there's like conflict happening between them. Ace isn't taking shit seriously. They start seeing more sightings of the Mothman. I think there should be at one point where maybe they have to like fight him off or run away from the Mothman or something. What do you got, Zach?
So I'm thinking like to really move the plot of the story. Okay, they're sitting around, they're going, okay, AAA is not coming anytime soon. We can't stay here. We got to go through the woods. Like we got to like face the dark of the woods because
Right. Okay.
we're losing daylight and we got to get moving. So while they're traipsing through the woods, there starts to get like a power. Now that Gene's out of the picture, there's a power struggle between Ace and Paul. While Peter's in the background, like there's like a power struggle over Peter. Like who rules Peter in the band?
Well, he's just like dink with his fidget spinner.
Right, exactly. Well, he's still in the back, not even paying attention to what they're doing. Okay, he's
Just
completely-
vibing.
and he's
He in a metal band, by the way, folks.
trust me, I know from experience.
Yeah.
So somewhere around now I think is when we end up coming across the next Mothman sighting.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
they would just like the one you said was just constantly getting high. They just look up. He'd just look up and see Mothman's eyes just beating down on him. He's like, dude,
You said
Oh,
eight, right?
watching us.
He's
Yeah.
having, he takes bad drugs and he's having a bad trip.
That's just it. He kills himself. Nobody kills him. He kills himself. He's watching Mothman. He's like, sees the glowing eyes. He's like, whoa. And then all of a sudden he's seeing double. And all of a sudden there's a million Mothman. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Goes running, falls off a cliff and dies.
Yes.
Same cliff.
That's pretty.
And Mothman starts laughing.
He falls right on
and the
top
other
of the
two are
mountain.
like,
The
what?
fidget spinners on top. Of
Yeah, he falls on the fidget spinners. Yeah. But we need a song for it, don't we?
I was gonna say we need to plot this out. So they're walking along the woods, they're having their power struggle. Ace is like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do some drugs and like try and like hang, like chill down. And then he takes like a bad batch or whatever, and he starts tripping and he starts seeing all these like Mothman, and he's like, whoa, but wait a minute, I think we're being followed or some shit. And he starts getting like real like creepy, paranoid and shit. And that's when you get like, I'm thinking like White Rabbit maybe by Janis Joplin and is it Jefferson Airplane? I think it's Jefferson Airplane and the White Rabbit song.
I'm not familiar with this song.
I know what song you're thinking.
You probably heard
because
it. One Pill. It's all about Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to say it out because I got high, though. That would be funny.
Isn't that an
That would be
African
funny
song?
if it was because I got high. That's yeah. Afro.
Afroman did a song like that too.
Because I got high.
Maybe it's a duet with Mothman. Mothman is singing like supporting parts.
Oh, he's tripping so bad. His song starts playing, and he starts having a duet with the Mothman. He just kind of like wanders in from behind a tree, and he's like doing the duet with him. He's like, I was gonna write a song, but then I got high.
I was gonna go on a tour, but then I got high.
And then Mothman kicks him and he lands in a pile of fidget spinners.
Like,
No, he doesn't kick him, but he just runs off and lands on the.
he gets like spooked somehow by something.
Maybe he sees the Mothman do something horrible to him in his trip, but then they find him later and it turns out he did all that stuff to himself. And like the Mothman just like messed with his head or something.
Well, and I was thinking, what if he told what if he sees Mothman behind what's the other guy's name?
Paul
Stanley?
What if he sees Mothman behind Paul and tries to go up and he thinks he's about to try and defend his friend from Mothman.
I like this.
But Paul doesn't take well to that because he doesn't see Mothman, so he thinks this dude's absolutely lost it. So, they start to get into a fist fight, and Paul shoves him a little too hard, and that's how he falls onto the fidget spinner.
Well, I was thinking, like, I was putting some together in my head where, like, we get like kind of a Pink Elephants style thing, but the song that you mentioned. But when I got high or whatever, but maybe like he in his days gets like convinced psychologically to harm himself. Like maybe there's some sort of like it's getting a little twisted, but like maybe there's some scene where he gets convinced that he has to like cut out his own heart or something like that.
With the fidget
like some
spinner?
kind of
With the
Yes.
there we go. In three,
the
the rule
fidget
of three.
spinner.
We're gonna bring this back 3 times over.
Speaking of 3, I think it's time for another one.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. Let's spin this one more time. Going. And it gave us a banana peel again. We're not doing that again.
Nope, can't do it.
No.
It ends where it began.
Well, I guess I'll spin it again. I got to figure out how to not do landing on it multiple times on this platform at some point. Well, our last one is a can of tuna.
Okay.
Your favorite food, Onyx?
Oh.
I don't think this will be quite as difficult as it sounds.
Are you gonna be
Because
one cat that doesn't like tuna?
here's the thing. They've been in the woods for a while now, right? So they're probably hungry.
Yeah. Sun's going down.
Yeah.
It's getting dark. Shit's getting real.
Well, and they've lost 2 of their people. I'm pretty sure they're probably getting a little scared. They're like, yo, I don't think we're gonna make it out of this anytime soon. And then
What?
no, and then Axel or the dude with the fidget spinner just
Peter singing.
while the lead singer's just tripping, freaking out, he just pulls out a can of tuna and starts eating.
Maybe-
If the Mothman is attracted to the smell of the tuna, though.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I like that. You got something?
I'm sorry, just a real small detail. What if like the tuna becomes his weakness somehow in the end?
Interesting.
I mean, we had the
Or maybe
fidget
it's
spinner as like the
something
check off
him
gun, but
What is
Yeah.
the one thing that actually keeps him from wanting to go after the last dude?
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, but maybe the Mothman, like he's got them sort of cornered. We're gonna have to figure out how Paul Stanley gets finished off to do with the fidget spinner. But then, like Pete Singer, he's got this can of tuna in his back pocket, and he offers it to the Mothman. The Mothman's like, "What is this human food?" And then takes it. Then AAA gets there, and it's like, "Oh, what happened here?"
No, maybe here. I think I have a way. AAA comes in with a van, and it's dark, and for some reason they just don't have their headlights on, and the one dude freaking out. He's not paying attention. He just gets ran the fuck over.
I was gonna say, like, what if they did?
Here's your roadside assistance, bitch.
That we and there's a way we could do that too, because at this point in the we established they're getting a little desperate, right? So maybe because Mothman has like eldritch powers, Paul Stanley has some kind of character flaw where the Mothman is able to tempt him out somewhere, and it tempts him out into the road where he promptly gets hit.
Yeah, AAA has to come back around because they finally catch up like hours later. It's nighttime. They go, "There's the car, but what's going on?" And then they hit the guy by accident.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Detroit Rock City. They just sing Detroit Rock City.
Come
Right
back.
there.
Chickadee, like that. Yeah, so there should be a point, like we're down, Ace Frehley's gone. We have to figure out how we split up Paul Stanley and Pete Singer. I feel like Pete Singer is probably not taking this situation very seriously, and after the death of his 2 bandmates, Paul Stanley might be getting more erratic at this point, might be getting more aggressive. So maybe he does just kind of like, I'm not going to deal with you anymore, and leaves. Like, I'm not going to babysit you anymore. I don't know.
He finally panics and is like, "I'm fucking out, dude. You're on your own." Peace.
Yeah.
It's there with his fidget spinner. It's like, okay,
Yeah, so what I think we should have like a song for like leading up to Paul Stanley's death.
You
God.
need a real chugger, something to really kind of.
don't back down.
Maybe. I just thought of something. I think Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles would be a good one for Ace Frehley if he's tripping out.
Oh yeah, actually, I do. I will concur with that. I like that.
So, but Paul, it's got to be like, what's his motivation?
Leaf by Black Sabbath.
Which Black Sabbath song?
Sweet Leaf.
Sweetly. That'd be another good one, I admit. But Paul Stanley, we want a song that's like kind of aggressive, I'll go my own way sort of thing.
You can go your own way.
I know
Like
you
a
were gonna
song that
say
has that kind of message. Yeah.
Two on the nose, isn't it? Two on the nose. Two on the nose.
Gosh. Man, this is
Here I
writing
go
musical is harder than I thought.
And just like fists in the
Time
air.
marches
and
on by
here I go
Pennywise.
again on my own.
Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. How about that?
Okay.
Shot through the heart. Maybe we do that the moment he gets hit. Shot through the heart.
I was gonna say Teenage Spirit.
You're
Smells like
too
Teenage
black.
Spirit, but
Smells like Teen
okay.
Spirit, yeah.
Be good.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a lot of suggestions for songs.
There's a lot of good music material for such a
I want to get in something that's like really poppy, like a really bad pop song, just like a really annoying one.
Rolling in the deep.
Or what about Rolling by Limp Bizkit? What about that one?
Rolling.
Rolling.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine Paul Stanley covering Limp Bizkit? That would be the worst. Anyway.
I'm sure he's
So-
tried it before.
He gets hit by a bus, a AAA bus, and shot through the heart plays or something.
Yeah, and the thing is, the guys don't even realize it at first that it's a person they just hit, and they're just like, "Was that a deer?" Because West Virginia is known for having deer run out in the street.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so they can't tell. It's maybe they get out and they're like, "Oh, holy shit! Is that Paul Stanley?"
That's when they get out, they see the body and go, "This makeup
Yeah.
looks familiar. I
Why are
wore it
you
for
wearing
Halloween
this
one
makeup? Why aren't they all wearing their makeup right now? Anyway,
year."
I wish I knew more Kiss's discography because I feel like some of that would be useful here. Thunderstruck. Oh wait, no, that's
Oh.
a Quincy song, isn't it? God of Thunder. God of Thunder is what I was thinking of.
It'd still be funny if it was Thunderstruck. Just saying.
Okay, well, yeah. All right, let's make it Thunderstruck. So Paul Stanley's been hit by a truck. The AAA guys get out and they're like, well, I mean, we got to find out where the rest of them are. We cut back to Pete Singer. He's in the woods alone, thinking around with his little fidget spinner, which we'll just say has sharpened edges on it, I guess, if we want to turn it into a nunchuck.
He's like somehow turning it into a weapon by messing with it so much, like he's wearing down edges on it or something that are like that become deadly and can cut your skin.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't realize he's doing. He's doing something like rubbing against a piece of like metal on his costume that he's not like. He's got a nervous tick. He's rubbing his fidget spinner against his, metal thing.
Yeah, it's like pulping or whatever. I think that could be a good subversion too. That could be a good fake out because he's been refining this thing down to a blade for this whole movie at this point, or this whole book or whatever.
Right, exactly.
And so you're thinking if he's gonna, you can describe it more to where the audience is thinking like, oh, he's gonna kill the Mothman with this thing,
Right.
but he doesn't. That's a subversion of the Chekhov. Yeah, because he uses the can of tuna instead. So maybe he's like trying to escape the moth. Maybe there's like a chase scene. He's being chased by the Mothman, who's gonna like, I don't know, eat him, whatever the Mothman does.
I feel like this is a good point where we need some character development in the Mothman. Like, what's the Mothman? Like, let's humanize the Mothman for a second here. Like,
I'm gonna
what's the
pitch
Mothman?
that-
Maybe he's misunderstood in some way. He's
I'm
not
gonna
meaning to
That's
kill
Onyx.
anyone.
Yeah, because you know more about the Mothman, right?
He's not actually done anything.
He's
He's
just
just
trying
watching
to
to
help
disturb
people.
Yeah, he's just
He
trying.
just wants
oh,
people to know that there's a
And people are
disaster
freaking out.
coming.
Yeah. He's trying to help people. He keeps appearing, and when he does, people freak out and cause their own accidents. And he's just kind of like, "Hey, man, I'm just a dude out here living in the woods. It's kind of my thing, and I've been doing that. And every time someone's in distress and he goes to help them, they end up killing themselves, and it's
And
just
he's
like his bad
lonely
luck charm.
because
And
he
he's
doesn't have
lonely.
any friends.
Yeah, it's lonely being the Lorax. Isn't there a song that's like that? It's lonely being me or something. That could be his song.
It's by Kermit.
It's not
Or
easy
the
being
Beatles
Green.
It's
song.
not easy
"What's so
being
long, it's
Mothman.
never."
It's not easy being Mothman.
Not easy being Mothman.
All
I
right.
keep
Yeah.
thinking yeah, that's good. I keep thinking of the "I'm So Lonely" song from Team America.
I was thinking about that movie today.
I mean, that's a wild pull, but you know, it kind of fits in a
On the
weird
same
way.
wavelength. Yeah, so
But yeah,
so the
not
Mothman
easy to-
doesn't like that they've invaded his forest or whatever, that they've crashed their van in his forest.
He's salty about that, but he's willing to help them out until all this starts happening.
Yeah. He cares for the forest, but he's also got a kind of like get out of my swamp kind of thing
Chip
going
on the
on, you know.
shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, here these guys come in and they're all arguing loudly in the middle of the woods. It's annoying. Mothman wants him to stop, so he fucks with him. So, yeah, I mean, I think we already have pretty much like we've got our character development for the Mothman. We just kind of did that one. We already know how Pete Singer kind of gets him to go away. So how does it end? Like, you know, the AAA guys find him. I mean, where do things go from there?
So we're coming to the point, I think, where Pete and the Mothman come face to face, the little final confrontation.
Well, and I actually had an idea. You were kind of like what you were saying. He'd just been inadvertently just sharpening down the fidget spinner into a shuriken. And like he just looks up at Mothman and like out of panic, he just ends up flinging it right between his eyes.
Or in going with that a bit, so Pete accidentally walks into the Mothman while Mothman's having this small moment of like lonely reflection, and then he's just like, "Oh shit!" and he freaks out and goes to try and run away, and almost ends up catching up to the AAA guys. They're going through the woods with like some flashlights, still trying to look for him. He accidentally runs into them, and the Mothman's chasing them down, and by accident, the fidget spinner goes flying out of his hand, and he accidentally kills one of the AAA guys.
Ooh!
By that same thing,
He trips over a rock.
He trips over a rock, and he accidentally flicks it like the shuriken, and he hits the guy right in the head, and he's dead.
I've got it. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's our problem. That's like a flaw, like a character flaw that the Mothman has, where he's kind of like a shark, where he smells blood in the water and he goes after him. Fidget spinner goes flying, hits one of the AAA guys. Maybe he doesn't even get killed. Maybe it just draws blood. But then the Mothman's like big red eyes go wide. He's like, "Oh, blood!" And he just fucking murders them all, and just gores them all right in front of Pete Singer, who's like frozen, like freaking out, doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah, because he was never around the other people when they died to smell the blood. So
yeah. So then Mothman turns around. He's like about to kill Pete Singer, but then Pete Singer offers him this can of tuna, and that like overrides his killer instinct. And then like Mothman becomes his pet, and they take the AAA van and drive off together.
And they sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow."
No, this should be Country Roads. You sing Country Roads because they're driving on.
They come back to Country Roads.
I guess they could do
They
Country
form a new
Roads,
band.
but "Somewhere
Singer.
Over the Rainbow" seems so fun.
Mothman and Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But Mothman doesn't like vocalize, so all he can do is really click. So he'd have to be like drumming in time to the music.
That's they're both drummers. They're both. Yeah. Okay. That is genius actually, because
like
they connect to that.
Green Man, Blue Man group. So
All
this is how
right.
it goes. Like the guy, so Mothman has a bloodlust, and he kills the other guy, the other AAA technician. And right as he's like towering over Pete Singer, like ready to eat him, he's like, "Wait, do you want to finish off this can of tuna?"
Yeah. And then they're eating together and then they like start drumming and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, actually, yeah.
Like, you know what? Not so well. He's clicking, and somehow Pete Singer can understand his clicks because Pete Singer's.
Oh yeah, they like communicate, like they talk by like.
Yeah, because Pete Singer's a drummer, he can communicate with them.
They sort of do like Morse code.
Yeah.
Just make it
Or
like
like those,
Morse code.
like that scene in Men in Black where the alien, Will Smith talks to the alien with beatboxing. Yeah, it's kind of like that. All right, I think that's our story.
So,
I think,
yeah, when they're like, "Oh, you want to be friends? We're friends," and then Somewhere Over the Rainbow comes on as they're driving, and then it blends into Country Road as as Pete turns to the Mothman and goes, "Do you want to start a band together?" And he's just like,
yes,
he's like, click,
Yes.
click. And then, like, for whatever reason, they launch a new career, and he's like, he's famous all over again.
yeah.
Mothman.
Famous than Kiss ever could be.
Yeah, but the thing is, keep
Oh,
dying.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. The thing is, people keep dying while Mothman is huge. Like, he's famous, but for some reason, people keep dying around him, and no one can figure out.
And he
So
wears
he's
Gene
miserable.
Simmons boots.
And
Right.
He's
he-
got to wear
yeah.
the boots.
Gene Simmons boots.
He gets the boots. I think that should be a wrap. I think I think that should be the end of it.
Glory right there.
Yeah, I have a funny story about Pete Singer, actually. My stepdad used to work for Kiss. He was a roadie for them, and he was a drum tech for Pete Singer. So it used to be when I was a kid, every year he'd send us holiday cookies.
Oh my god.
They were really good, too. They were M&M cookies, but I don't know. He's just good at making cookies. Drumming and making cookies.
I used to know a guy when I lived in Columbus. So every summer went on that Kiss cruise that they do.
Wow, okay.
Like, he was like,
He's into
it. Every year he's there, and it's just like, is Kiss? Kiss is still like a thing and still touring. And he's like, nah, it's a cruise. Bands have cruise now. That's the new thing.
That's their new thing because they're all in their fucking 70s or whatever. So, I mean, do we want to synopsize the story? Do we want to go through it beat by beat?
I think we give it like a one good comb over of like, this is the story, pitched clearly, like front to end.
So we'll come up with a log line for it. How's that? The log line for this would be Kiss crashed their van and are lost in the woods with Mothman. As they tear each other apart, they have to survive this creature. I'm losing it already. I'm not great at log lines.
No, I'm terrible at last time.
Can they survive a night in the woods, and will Mothman be their greatest danger?
There you go.
Or their greatest asset.
All right, we have our log line. Kiss gets stranded in the woods with the Mothman. Will he be an asset, or will he be their greatest danger, or is the danger themselves? You know. All right. I think that is it for our show. So, as always, we'd like to thank Todd Zach for providing the intro music. You can find information about his music and his band below in the description. And we'd like to thank Unveiling Nighmares Press for hosting our show. There's a link in the description as well where you can find their catalog of books, including the works of your four hosts. Do y'all have any pluggables, any past projects, any future projects coming up, your socials that you want to talk about?
I guess I'll fire it off. For me, you can find all my available work at www.zachellenberger.weebly.com, where you can find all the links for purchase and some free reads. You can check me out on social media on TikTok and Twitter at Zach4Prez911. That's ZAK, the number 4, PREZ 911, or on Instagram at Words of the Burgermeister, all underlined.
Link in the doobly-doo. What about you, Thomas? What do you got?
You may find me on Facebook under my name, Thomas Stewart, or you can follow my Corpse Child Sanctuary Facebook page. You may find me on Instagram at CorpseChild2001, and you can find me on both Talk and Slasher at Unholy Corpse Child, or if you are a truly devoted maggot or larvae, you may join me at www.corpsechildsanctuary.com, where you can sign up for my email list, where you can and grab a free ebook, or you can visit the Citadel, where all of my ebooks are cheaper to purchase than Amazon. Signed paperbacks, which come with art and a bookmark, and t-shirts.
Awesome. What about you, Onyx?
You can find me on Facebook is Onyx Brightwing, and you can find me on Instagram as Bitey Cat. And I have a blog where you can find all of my books and everything about me. She writes fast at wordpress.com. That's about it.
All right. And then, as always, the link to my link tree is in the description below. I have a book coming out with Unveiling Nighmares on August 2nd, Fever Dreams. Super excited for that. And I also have an ongoing comedy supernatural webcomic called Devil Went Down to Vegas. You can find it on Webtoon. Links to all my projects in the doobly-doo. And of course, if you have any suggestions for topics, put them in the comments below. We can take your fears and turn them into a great story. Bye, everyone.
Gonna go insane, you're gonna be disgusted, you're gonna laugh away until your gut's busted, yeah, yeah. Better hold on to your breath.